Hello, welcome to our back to school meeting digital style. So we're making this video for those of you that were not able to come to our meeting in person. In this meeting, my goal is to cover the different protocols that we have at our Learning Center, different modes of communication and what we expect of the students, parents, and teachers, and all of that wonderful information for you. So first on the screen, you see our overall information. This has email, phone number, website, and different ways that you can communicate with us. So right up here at the top, you'll see our mailing address, our PO box, the phone that you can call or text, and an email. Down here, you'll see a QR code for the HLC website. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. And here you will see the calendar for the year, the first day of classes, last day of classes, and all the different days off for holidays and such. Over here, you will see a QR code for the Teacher Ease app for Apple and down below for Android. Again, please email this email or call or text this number if your student will be ill and will miss class. And also, please be very careful to adhere to our sick policy, which we'll be going on over together in much more detail in a little bit. Also, you need to know that in case of inclement weather, parents will be alerted via text through a service called Remind and email through Teacher Ease. Remind is very helpful because it's an instant notification instead of an email that, most people don't check their emails as often as they notice their text messages. So if there's a teacher illness or we have to cancel class for any reason, that's how you will find out. So be aware of that, especially before classes, so that you can expect that to happen if it needs to. So that paper that I was just showing you could be, if you're a person who likes to have it on your fridge or by your calendar, you can print that. We will provide you with a copy of that in the classroom, or you can print the PDFs that we sent along with this video. So the next thing that I want to go over is our teacher, parent, student behavior contract. One thing about our educational model that is very unique is that it takes three parties in order to pull this off. So of course we have the student, we have the parent, and then we have the teacher. And we all need to work together very closely as we do our best to provide the best education for these students. This model works best in any school setting, but especially ours, since our contact as teachers with the students is not daily. It's once a week or twice a week, depending on what class your student is taking. So I'm going to read through this contract, and after I'm done reading it and after you understand it, both parents and students need to sign this contract. There can be one contract per family, and please bring it with you to the first day of class signed and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and go through each line. So expectations of students. First of all, we expect that you complete your homework each week. Students, as a gauge, are expected to spend about 1 to 2 hours a week per class per day. So every day you're spending some time on your schoolwork. So approximately 5 to 8 hours per subject per week. If you're way above that or way under that as far as hours, please let us know so that we can make any adjustments as needed. The second one is to please turn your homework in on time. Unexcused late work will only be accepted for 1 week after the due date. After that time, it will be closed and your student will not be able to turn it in after that. It will be docked if it's late. If it's an unexcused tardy or late, it will be 1 grade lower. And after 1 week late, we will not accept the work any longer. Now, if it's an excused absence because of a vacation or sickness, you will need to come see your teacher and let them know the plan for getting that turned in. Number 3, please come to class on time with all materials needed and ready to participate in the discussion. Please notify your teacher as soon as possible if you know that you're going to be absent, and we will work with you to give you the work ahead of time if possible. I would like to highlight this: participate in the discussion. Super important. I expect you to talk in class, as do all the teachers. So if you're not so inclined to speak up in a group of people, I understand that some people are very uncomfortable with that. I would encourage you to plan what you want to say in class. A lot of times in your work, there will be questions or books that you're reading. So plan ahead of time what you plan to say in class, and that way you'll be ready to go. I will give you a little bit of grace in the beginning as you get comfortable with the class, but throughout the class, as we get comfortable with each other, I will ask you to start sharing in class, and there will be a participation grade as part of your overall grade. Number 4 is display a respectful attitude to all teachers, classmates, and parents that are around. Sometimes there are parents in the classroom, and you would respect them as another parent, as another adult. And your classmates, you respect them by listening to them and encouraging them, and listening and encouraging. That's a great way to respect. Number 5, while at Hawkinson Community Church, when you're in the main classroom, you will be staying downstairs. There's everything that you need downstairs. You do not need to go upstairs. Then in the fellowship hall, you need to stay out of the kitchen area, but you'll be in the main room up there, and then the restrooms are downstairs. Number 6, no horseplay or public displays of affection will be tolerated. So please, if you're staying, this is mostly an issue when you're staying in between classes for a study hall. Please bring enough work to keep you busy, because there's not going to be horseplay happening. Number 7, please clean up and leave the campus cleaner than when you arrived. Makes pretty much sense. So when you get up from your table, look around, pick up items that you no longer need or scraps of garbage or whatever, and we will be wiping down all of the tables after class. So you can help out with that. Grab a Clorox wipe and wipe your area. Number 8, parents will be notified of behavior issues immediately via text if necessary. And if the problem persists, we will ask a parent to attend the student in class. And if it continues, we have the right to withdraw the student from the class. Number 9, we have a no cell phone policy. And if cell phones are out during class, we will, if necessary, if it's a continued problem, we will take the phone and the student's parents can come pick it up at a later time. And number 10, all of the textbooks, literary books, and other curriculum that is loaned needs to be returned in good condition. If it's not, there will be a book fee so that we can keep up our inventory. Now, as you can imagine, we as teachers there are expectations of us as well. So we put those down on the paper, and we as teachers signed this contract as well. Number 1, we will provide you with a clear syllabus that shows the assignments and their due dates. Number 2, we will keep Google Classroom up to date with homework assignments and extra materials needed. We will, number 3, plan and teach lessons each week based on the syllabus. And number 4, we will stay current with Academy Northwest expectations for accredited courses. We will help keep you on track with that. And number 5, we provide a grade and feedback on homework turned in within a week. So in other words, if you're turning it in later than a week, we're not going to be grading it. We won't accept it. So then number 6, we will be available to answer questions during designated office hours. Now, we're going to wait till the dust settles a little bit with classes and oversight and things like that. Once we do that, we will post our office hours so that you can make an appointment during that time. Now, appointments can be in person or online using Google Meet, or even on the phone, depending on the individual teacher and what their preferences are. Last but certainly not least, I will go over the expectations of parents. So number 1, please stay current on your students' grades and homework via TeacherEase and Google Classroom. Now, I would like to designate those two and show you why they're different and why we need both platforms in order to communicate with you. TeacherEase is the grade book. That is where all of your students' grades will be on individual assignments as well as their overall grade. Google Classroom is the platform where you will see all of their assignments And you will see individual scores on the assignments, but you will not see their overall grade. Now, Teacher Ease, you were sent an invitation to that. If for some reason you can't find it, you can ask Lisa Honnell for that. But you need to make an account and a login, and I encourage you to log in once a week to check your students' grade and to see if they're missing anything. Now, you can get the app, which makes it even easier, or you can access it on the desktop version, so on your computer. Google Classroom, you can either, log in as your student, get their information from them and then kind of check on their work, or you will also be put down as a guardian on that Google Classroom, and you can ask to have a digest sent each week, which will come on Friday afternoon. And it's basically a digest of all the assignments that were assigned and if they were turned in or not. So that's another really good way to keep track of whether or not your student is turning in their work. Please pay attention. It's very important. If you have any questions, if a teacher entered a score incorrectly, or if something's missing that you don't think should be missing, please reach out to us and we will figure it out together. Number 2, we ask that you observe your student during the week to be sure they are spending adequate time on their work. Adequate time, as we said before, is 1 to 2 hours per subject per day. Number 3, encourage your student to turn in their work on time and provide assistance when needed. If at all possible, help them if they have a question. See if you can figure it out together. Number 4, since our classes only meet once a week, the teacher and parent are in a partnership, and both the parent and teacher have a part in making this class a success. Communication is key, okay? Number 5, this is a very, very, very important one, especially due to the fact that we have the COVID-19 virus going around our places, around, it's here. It's everywhere. So I would like to mention that last year we were very strict about our sick policy, and we had the healthiest year that we've ever had. So we want to repeat that. So if your student has a fever of 100.4 or higher, has chills, cough, runny nose, shortness of breath, fatigue, headache, nausea, sore throat, body aches, keep them home. Please err on the side of caution. We understand that people have allergies, so some people will cough and sneeze and things like that, and it's not necessarily a virus or a bacteria. However, it can be allergies. So if your student is in that camp, my husband happens to have really bad allergies and he's coughing and sneezing all the time, but we know he's not sick. So if that's the case, you can let us know. But otherwise, if it's any kind of sniffles other than allergies, we want you to stay home, and we will provide you with a recording of the class. It is so imperative that we do this so that we can stay healthy, so that we can stay meeting in person. And yeah, that's it, right? We want to be in person as much as possible. Learning online is pretty tough. Number 6, for those families that pay directly to Hope Learning Center or semester in full, payments need to be somehow automatic. So please see Lisa Honnell if you need to arrange something. There will be a late fee of $25 if the monthly payments are not received by the first of each month. So please keep that in mind as you make arrangements for payment each month. And continuous breach of this contract will result in the student's withdrawal. So please, if you have any questions with any of these, please contact either Lisa, if it's financially related, on payments, or contact a teacher and ask those questions. And again, once you read through it, discuss it, ask any questions that you have. We need you to sign it. We need the students to sign it, as well as the parents. And you can see that the teachers have signed it down there. So please, it can be one per family. So a few students can all sign on the same line, sign and print right there. And please bring it to your first class. If you're not taking classes, you can talk to me about that. If you ever come to the Learning Center, actually, you know what? I just misspoke. Everybody does need to sign this because it actually applies to everybody. Obviously, the things pertaining to class, like cleaning up, doesn't apply to you, but the work ethic and everything else does. So all students need to sign this. So if you're on doing an online oversight, for example, you can scan this and send it to us. Now, let's see. The next thing I would like to talk about is the COVID-19 in-person educational release. Now, again, if you're not coming to classes, you're not going to be at the Learning Center in person at all, you do not need to sign this. This release is to be filled out by parents of students attending the Learning Center in person. It's also to be filled out by an adult who volunteers or is present at the Learning Center in person. Your signature below indicates that you understand the risks of meeting in person with teachers and other students during the COVID-19 pandemic. You will not hold any teacher or learning center liable for any illness my child or I may contract as a result of attending in-person classes. I take full responsibility for the health of myself and my child. So if you are in class, this is in-person educational release, you need to sign this. If you are not comfortable signing this release, then you will need to attend class by getting those recordings of our classes and meeting with teachers one-on-one using Google Meet or on the phone. So those are your options for that. Now, along the lines of COVID, we are asking that, or rather not asking that, that's not where I was going, excuse me. I'll start over. As far as COVID, we take it very seriously. It is a virus. Viruses, as we know, are very, very difficult to control, and they just kind of keep changing, and people are getting it, and then some people get a mild cold from their symptoms are like a mild cold, whereas other people are in the hospital not able to breathe and their oxygen levels are low. A lot of it depends on pre-existing conditions, but sometimes it's just there's no explanation for why it's so different in everybody. So we do take it seriously. We want you to know that we are doing extra cleaning in the classroom. We are wiping down the tables after every class, and we also are doing deep cleaning once a week. And we have a very strict policy that we went over before, and it's, again, very imperative that you go by that. And we do have a new configuration of the tables in the classroom. It's in a large U or horseshoe shape, so that the kids are across from each other quite a distance, way more than 6 feet, and they can sit in every other chair, which will also spread them out a little bit further. So we are doing our due diligence and doing the best that we can. If you have questions about masks, we would ask that you would talk to us individually. We will go over that policy with you in person or over the phone. So if you have further questions about that, then that's important. So if I have to recap, all of this information is super important, and we want you to listen to it, read through the material, make sure that you're of understanding of what we're doing and what our expectations are. And once you understand that, we ask that you sign the contract. And then if you're going to be in person, that you sign this educational release and stay in communication. Remember to be checking those Teacher E's, Google Classroom. I do want to mention, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but I just want to mention that I, along with Kathleen Baker, Caitlin Gomez, Trisha Fife, and Michelle Payne, are all teaching. And so you will definitely get used to each of us depending on what classes your child is attending. Please stay in good contact with us. Most of us say if you have an urgent issue, you can send us a text. That's the quickest way for an urgent issue. Something that can wait a little bit longer, email is a great way to get a hold of one of us, and we will respond as soon as possible. And students, please always feel like you can ask questions when something comes up. We can't read minds, and if you don't ask questions, we don't know that you're struggling. So we look forward to this school year and learning lots of new things, and we wish you the best in your other studies that you do, and we look forward to seeing you in class coming up this following week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.